I have a million things to do this summer. Hi, I'm Katie, and I just got back from a lovely semester of school that was actually pretty good. It wasn't that bad. And so now I'm just itching to start on a new project because I haven't been able to work on anything for the last like 5 months, and I am definitely ready to get back at it again. So we're starting with this lovely sword. I 3D printed this back in December with my Ender V2, and it was split up into lots of parts because when I bought the 3D printer, I didn't realize how small the print bed was going to be. So it's definitely split up a lot, but I printed it at the time because I was making an updated She-Ra cosplay to wear to a convention I was guesting at back in February, and the sword didn't get finished in time, which is fine because I have a sword that I made out of foam a long time ago, but it would have been nice to bring this one, but that's okay because we're finishing it now. So I already went through and sanded all of it one time and then went through with like Quickie Seal to fill in all the lovely gaps. I'm very new to this. So yeah, we're gonna go through and sand it one more time, and then we're going to prime it and paint it. And then after I paint it, is really where it's gonna get good because I'm gonna use resin for the gem. And then I have this really cool like dual like chrome shifting powder that I'm gonna be buffing on the blade part of the sword. So I think it's gonna be really cool. And then eventually at another point I will have to make some kind of like sheath to wear on my back or something, because whenever I made it I just thought big sword for a big lady. And I'm a very small lady. So carrying this thing around for 8 hours at convention won't really work. So we're gonna put it on my back and it's gonna be good. So welcome to my backyard. Better yet, my parents' backyard. Okay, so we're gonna go through and we're gonna sand it. A person on the internet told me how to do this sanding thing. I have 3 different grits. I have 120, 220, and 320. So I'm gonna go in with the 120, which is like a really coarse grit, and then just go up in finer grits. I don't know why I have so many of these. I think I cut them into squares. But yeah, like I said, I've already done this one time through, but you can definitely tell where I had to like fill in gaps and stuff like that. And I thought it would just be fine, but then my dad was like, it should be completely smooth. So I mean, I got all the layer lines majority out, so I have to go in with that. And then we had a Dremel somewhere, so I'm gonna go in and Dremel some of like the smaller details. Like a lot of this stuff in like the hilt is really hard to get with this like big hand sander here. So I'm just gonna go through and try and get some of that with a Dremel, and then we will get to priming and then do it all over again. Okay, after a very long time of sanding, we're gonna do more sanding. I got really scared. I went to get the toolbox with the Dremel in it, and I almost sat on this, and I heard something crack, and this was broken one time before. It fell off a table, and the handle completely broke off because there's just wooden dowels in here when I should have used like aluminum or something like that, or something more sturdy. So I got very scared, and I'm pretty sure if this thing broke again, I would literally have a mental breakdown. My dad actually went through and put like a bolt in the handle so that it would not break off anymore, because it was like really unstable with the handle even before it broke. So yeah, now we're gonna go through with the Dremel. I've never used a Dremel before, so I'm a little nervous, but it'll be great. I did try going through and like hand sanding all these little things. It's just really difficult to hand sand it and get it to how I want it. So we're gonna go through with the Dremel, see how that goes, and yeah. Okay, after a quick FaceTime call with my dad, I got the Dremel bit switched. So we're good to go. We're rocking and rolling. Let's do it. Okay, so the Dremel went horribly. I couldn't figure out how to get some of the bits into the Dremel that I needed, and the ones I thought I did need were way too strong. So I'm actually having to go back over a couple places that I Dremeled because like it just really messed it up, which I guess is the point to get rid of the layer lines, but I think I'm just going to prime / fill it with the primer filler stuff I have, and then later I can ask my dad for help about the Dremel bits, but for now I think I'm just gonna do that because it just didn't go well and I don't want to repeat it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna call that good for today, day 1 of I don't know how long this is gonna take. Okay. It's 2 days later, as you can tell by my different outfit. And here is how we are looking. In those 2 days, after I sanded it in the last part, I went through with this stuff. It's automotive primer. It's a 2-in-1, it's a filler, and it's sandable, which is what we want because we're sanding. But pretty much, I just used that to go through a lot of the stuff that I couldn't really get beforehand, like a lot of the layer lines, like right here in this like crevice, I can't really get with the hand sander, and then it's kind of hard to get with just like my hands. So I filled that in, so I will like touch more on that now. But yeah, after I did that layer, I went in with Quickie Seal, which is kind of like a plaster type thing, like a caulking. And I went in and I kind of just went over all of the lines where it connected, just trying to fill those in more. Same with like here on the handle where like some things were connected, I went over that more. And yeah, and then I went over again with the automotive primer. So yeah, I tried wiping this down with a paper towel last time to get all the dust off. And there's a lot of like fuzzy stuff on it, and I don't know if it's from the paper towel or if it's from the automotive primer, but hopefully it's just gonna sand off. So yeah, let's get into it. So some things have changed. So I think I started this back in like June, maybe even May. It's October now. So the plan originally was to finish this up over the summer. And then we ended up going to a convention in the summer. I did 3 cosplays in the summer. A lot happened this summer. And this sword was not one of them. So now, I am finishing the sword to wear it to a convention next weekend, and then display it in a month at another convention. But here is where we are right now. And this is actually half of where we are right now. This is really where we are right now. This is what it will look like when it is fully complete. The gem I made out of resin. I was going to film that, but my face just kind of gave off a look of confusion the entire time because it was my first time ever working with resin, but just a quick little recap of how I did this. I got some soap molds off of Amazon because this is not a normal shaped oval. It is very large, so I got some soap molds. I took some 2-part resin I got off Amazon and mixed those together. I got some add-ons. It's just these little like cellophane pieces, and mixed those in. And the back is the same paint that I used for this part, which I will explain later. And then this gold part right here is a thing called gilding wax, which is also something I will explain later. But yeah, so we have to do all of that on this side. And I just kind of want to give a little recap of why this has taken so long and why I look different, because obviously my hair is a lot shorter now than it was. But just to wrap up where we were last time, I finished sanding everything. All of the like lines where originally the like pieces were like glued together, they're not very noticeable now. You can still kind of see them a little bit when it's done, but it's not too bad. And then yeah, I already have the other gem already casted and already done. I'm just gonna do the gilding wax and then the paint, and then I think I'm gonna do a clear coat on the blade, but I'm still not quite certain about that yet because I don't want it to mess up the gilding wax. So yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so this was just a rose that I plasti dipped. I put plasti dip to seal it, and then I just put the gilding wax on my finger. You could probably use a small brush, but I use my finger. And then you just buff it on. And then it's a little thicker as it starts to dry. It doesn't take very long to dry. As you can see, it's kind of, you don't want to get it very thick. You want it to be thin and just really buff it on. I mean, the object is not to be thick at all with this stuff because it is meant to smear, basically, because it's rub and then you buff it, right?
Okay, so here I am mixing the paint. First I went in with the FX Armor Metallic paint color. I got these just at my local craft store. They're kind of these like chrome paints that you can use on lots of different surfaces. So I mixed that one with the FX Mutant Shift, which is kind of like this like greenish turquoise color. And then I'm about to go in with this Pearl X. It's a powdered pigment. It's in the duo blue-green color. That is originally what I was going to buff on the entire blade, but then I decided I was going to mix them to kind of get more of the light blue teal color I wanted. And it worked out. The Pearl powder was just like super messy, but I mean, like, it worked out in the end, and it doesn't like rub off or anything.
What'd you win?
Oh, I got a little kitty candy.
Aww.